Hi, my name is Hunter Flournoy. I first came to the Bodhi Zen Center in 2000 to co-lead a retreat with my friend David Moreno for spirit journeys. I've known Hossen now for 20 years, and in that time I've found Hossen to be one of the most profound teachers of sacred relationship I've ever known. I remember early on as I was sitting with her looking out over the river one day. We had just climbed out of the pools and were watching the water rush by. And I was talking about Buddhism and my struggles with detachment. And Hossen said, "Hunter, Buddhism isn't about detachment. Buddhism is about relationship." And in that moment, my whole world flipped upside down. My understanding of Buddhism, my understanding of myself and my relationship to my world. And my spiritual path became one of deepening relationship at that moment. And every step of the way, as I've deepened in relationship, I have watched Hossen lead the way, just a couple of steps ahead, in modeling what it is to truly be in loving, tender, attentive, compassionate relationship with the world. I remember one day we were driving down the valley from the airport in Albuquerque, and I was very preoccupied with some of the struggles in my life, and really wanting Hossen to give me the answers to all my problems. I paused for a moment and took a breath, and Hossen leapt at the chance. She looked up at the canyon wall, and she gestured with one hand as she was driving the old van. She said, "Hunter, isn't the canyon wall beautiful with the light on it?" And in that moment, my mind went silent, my problems dissolved, and I saw how vast the canyon wall was, stretching from one side of the world to the other with the light streaming down on it. And we sat there in silence. And as the silence ended, she just sort of glanced over at me and smiled. And I knew that the problems that I was struggling with arose from my sense of separation with the world. There was another moment in which Hossen paused amidst some task that we were engaged in together and looked up at me and studied me for a second. And tears actually welled up in her eyes as she said, "I'm so grateful that all of this has become my content." I was puzzled for a second and probably furrowed my brow and frowned. And she smiled. And she said, "This place has become my content. I used to think of my content as my name and my history. But more and more, my sense of myself has expanded to include the Bodhi and the river rushing through it and the canyon walls above it and the light streaming down over it. All of this," she said, "is my content. And I am so grateful. And I am grateful that the Bodhi has, over these last 20 years, become my content. And that my friendship with Hossen has become a part of who I am and how I relate to the people in my life. It's my prayer that many, many more people will have the opportunity to come to the Bodhi, to feel the sacred peacefulness of this place, the profound beauty, the deep sense of relationship that each of us gets to experience there, and that they will get to walk beside Hossen by the river, feeding the chickens, weeding in the garden, and to experience a kind of human relationship which is rare and precious and necessary in our world.